Uko comfortable? Nikukuuliza. Sawa. Nimeweka juice nikaacha kwa kichwa. Unaweza niletea? Perfect. Hello everyone. So I'm running 2 lives at the same time, one on Instagram, the other one on YouTube. So I will just wait. I think we have a quorum, so I'll just go straight to it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joseph Munio. I thought actually it was, we had time, but it's actually 7:30 on the dot. Yeah, I like keeping time, and I will just continue, do the live for about 30 minutes, and then yeah, give room for questions, and then we can close it. So for now, since this is an educational video, I would like you to keep your comments to the minimum and only the important bits of these conversations. If you have any question, keep it until the end of the live, because you might ask something while I'm still talking and I might miss it completely, and then I'll not be able to tackle it. That being said, I can give you like a minute. You share the live with those people you think might need to hear this, and then we can begin. In the meantime, I think we are good to go. We are set. Everything is okay. I've got my juice with me. Get your pen or paper, water if you need, and then we can continue. I can see we have enough people on Instagram as well, and we are ready to go. So I think now that I've introduced myself and I've set the ground rules, for now we can continue. The reason why I decided to do this live video is because I did a video in 2020, early 2020, long time ago, where I was taking Joy to Malindi, where we have invested a considerable amount of land, and ever since I've been getting text and messages for those people who are willing to invest in this kind of projects, asking me questions, and I decided to do this live and leave it here for every person who might have a question to use it. Also, there have been a rise of people selling land in the same place where we have our land, and I wanted to give people the basic knowledge of what goes on around. This video is not to bash anyone who is doing this business. It is not to out anyone. This is just me giving you information so that when you're buying land, you make an informed decision. You know at least what goes on there, and yeah, when you're making a decision, at least you have a knowledge. Knowledge is power, and so I believe this is not the first time I've done this. I've done this with my friends who we have been working in the same industry for the longest time, and I saw that most of them were not doing much with a lot of money they had, and I formed a group. Actually, I've been forming different groups of different people, and then we raise money, and then I go look for land, the cheapest I can get, and then we purchase, and then we subdivide, because I believe buying in bulk helps, and also because it makes it cheaper, and also this has given me an experience that I'm going to share with you. So I always go for the cheapest, The problem with Kenyans is that when you give them a cheaper option of land, they kind of suspect and they don't go with it. Is because I don't know who told Kenyans that the more expensive a land is, the more genuine it is. Contrary to that, you can get very cheap, genuine land, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about. Because even those people who sell to you land get it cheaply, and this is what happens even in Nairobi. And I'll give you an example. When guys in Kajiado and Kitengela were allocated the land by the government, and they started getting, the Maasai started getting the title deeds, they started selling this land, and the shrewd or the smart business people went there and purchased this land very cheaply. Some even bought it at 200 what is it called, 200,000 an acre. 2,000 an acre, subdivided the land into 8 pieces, and 8 each, and then they started selling. And that is very okay, and I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with that is selling people promises that never come to happen. And as you can see in the trend that most Kenyans have, or most sellers have, what they do is they buy land very cheaply, they subdivide it, and then they tell you this place is gated, it has water, has school, all those things, and they sell it to people. Now, if you're not keen enough and you go to the place, the ground, you might not get a clear picture of what you're being sold. And this is what I normally advise people. Whenever someone is selling you land, always make a point to go and see for yourself, because you might be surprised. All they have done is put a barbed wire, maybe a borehole, and a gate, and then when you ask where are the schools, oh, you'll be told, oh, the government is bringing a hospital here, it's building a school here, oh, there's also a bypass passing here. You see, these are people who are selling you promises. And then the same land you end up buying for 1 million, 1.5, 2 million. And you think you have gotten a deal. But I want you to think of something, and I'm going to give you a scenario or a simple math. And I want you to follow me through this thought process of what I think myself and what actually governs my decision to buy land. If, let's say, the person has bought 1 acre for 500,000, subdivide it to 8 pieces. 500,000 divided by 8. How much is that? 55? I don't know. I've not done the math. Something 50 something. Now, this person is going to subdivide this land, add some extra cost of putting a borehole, doing a fence, and also cutting roads. All right, and then they have sold to you this land for 1.5 million or 1 million. They've or maybe 900,000, whatever amount they have sold it for. But the experience I have is someone tried to sell me land somewhere in the outskirts of Kitengela for about 2 million or 2.5. Now, how much time do you think it's going to take for this land that the actual value, this is the actual value, is around 500 or maybe a million an acre? So to bring it down to an eighth, maybe 100,000 an acre, or maybe 100,000 an eighth, or maybe cost of producing that an eighth, maybe 100 and 150 or even 200. And then this person is selling you the same land 10 times the value. How long do you think it's going to take for this land to get to that value? It's gonna take a lot. And this is how land appreciates. It appreciates with development. Without development, that land will never get to its potential. And this is where you find people who bought land thinking or who are sold what is called promises. They were told school is gonna come here, road is gonna come here, and you buy the same land thinking you are going to sell it for, you bought it 2 million, you're going to sell it for 4 million, and 10 years later the same land, now it's when it's getting to 1.5, you have not even gotten to your 2 million. Okay, so, and this is what I normally think of whenever I go to see land. I look at I can never buy land that I have not seen, so I normally go and look what are the developments around at that time and what is the actual value of land. And if you're the person who does not go to look, or you think that you've gotten a deal, you'll end up with a very expensive land that even in 20 years you may not be able to sell. Some actually do work and some actually appreciate, and I'll give you an example is Kiambu. When they did it used to be very cheap, but when they started doing the development, the roads, the malls and everything, right now, last time I checked, I think 2 years ago, as an eighth was going for 8 million, and it had moved from 4 million in a span of 1 year. So you can see what kind of things drive land to appreciate. Also demand, that's another thing. You find that most developers will start seeing growth and potential coming in. They start speculating and they want to develop that place, maybe put up a house, put up a school, put up whatever, and they start going for this land, and the demand actually pushes the price high. So if you're not seeing these things happening, do not buy land on speculation, because you'll end up buying a super expensive land that you might never even be able to utilize. But this depends on why you're looking for this land. This depends why you're looking for this land. Some people like myself, why I normally purchase land is because I want to do some development, some investment in the future. And since I don't want to wait until that time to purchase the land, because I may not be able to afford, so I normally look for the cheapest where I want to do something, and then I purchase and fence and then do something and keep it until that time I want to utilize it, because I have a plan. Some people want to build a house. If you want to put up a house, it does not matter where this place is, as long as you're comfortable with it, you can purchase it. Again, it's at your own will. But for those people who want to do like an what can I call, an investment, like where you want to purchase land and then resell it later on, it is very keen to look at this thing, because even the person who is selling this land is doing business, and there's nothing illegal with it, because at the end of the day, the market is willing buyer, willing seller. You buy, if I'm selling you a piece of land for 10 million and my neighbor is selling it at 2 million, if you buy it from me for 10 million, I've done nothing wrong with it. You are willing to purchase, and that's your own choice. That being said, these people who do this, they have done nothing wrong. The only thing I have a problem with it is selling people promises and telling them a hospital is coming here, or like selling things that are not there, saying there is school, there is whatever, there is tarmac road. No, that's where now you're selling hope. Now, these same people have exhausted or have moved from Nairobi area and taken their business to Malindi, and this is why I decided to do this video and to explain what goes on. They have gone in to Malindi and do the same, purchase big pieces of land, because in Malindi you can find land going for 25,000 an acre, 30,000 an acre, 40, 50, depending on where you are buying. As we are speaking right now, there are some places where an acre is going for 500,000 a piece, like an acre. And this happened after they started doing those urban roads and they put a tarmac. There's nothing actually big, it's just that tarmac. And I have a feeling, and this is true, the reason why that land has appreciated that much is because most guys are coming from Nairobi and going to purchase land in Malindi. And most people, right, most people from Nairobi who are used to being told land goes for 2 million, 1.5, and 8. When you tell them you can purchase an acre for 200,000, they go crazy, they go mad, and they rush there and they want to buy, not understanding that this land that you're buying for the same that amount, just next neighbor, if you ask the locals, because they buy it from people from Nairobi who have bought them, if you buy from the next person, the locals, they're gonna sell it to you at 50,000 an acre. But after you have bought, it's only when you realize what has happened. All right, so I was gonna talk about this Malindi land and as well as Nairobi, because I told you I have done this thing where I tell friends of mine, let's do this, we go look for land. And when I told guys you can actually get land in Nairobi for 300,000 a piece, they couldn't believe. Nasi Mbali, because I have done it, and it's just here in Kamulu. For those people who know, land goes there for 300,000, 350, but you must know where to look. And it's cheap and it's genuine because they have title deeds. I've done a search on this. But then when it comes to title deed, it does not mean just because land has a title deed, it does not mean it is genuine than the one that doesn't have. Because you find, like I've said, like in Kitengela, most these lands were owned by the community, and then the government came in and they started now allocating title deeds. But the title deeds are not yet out. What they do, they give people allotment number. Okay, if the families are given, and when people are given these things, they started selling them. So even most people, even where I live in Embakasi, not far, Embakasi is very developed, but most of the land was owned by NSSF, and up to date, it's only when they've started producing title deeds. So most of the lands don't even have a title deed, but they are super genuine. So when it comes to buying land, yes, it is important to look at the title deed, but again, also understand the person who is selling it to you, because people have bought land with title deed and ended up in court fighting over ownership. So a title deed does not always translate that you're buying it from a genuine person. That's one thing I want you to understand. And these Malindi lands are the same. I'm going to give you a brief history of what happened. So like any other place in Kenya, like Kajiado, where the Maasais used to live in this land, the same thing. The locals there, the Mijikenda community, have lived in this land for the longest time. So the government came in and they started giving these families land, and each family was given 3,000 acres each, which were later subdivided to 1,300 acre, and then depending on how many people are there, depending on how you decided to split it, it was split. And these are the same people who are selling. So you find a family is selling maybe 1,000 acres because they need the money, and they remain with 2,000. Other is individual who are selling this land. Now what happens is, before land is sold, there must be an agreement. And this is why I'm telling you this, so that you can understand. It does not matter whether the land has title or not, it is who is selling it to you, right? So what happens, or in my case, what happened was, the family that was selling the land, they put down a letter, which I still have to date. They wrote a letter saying, we own this parcel of land. Okay, I bought land in Kabo. It's in Adu, location Marafa division. for those who understand all those things. And then so they sat down in front of the elders and the chief. They wrote a letter which they signed. I could have shown you, but I don't want to give the information, like, because they had to put all the information, phone number, ID, but I still have the papers. They put down the information. Then the chief wrote a letter saying the meeting happened and these people are willing to sell, and he signed and put a stamp on it. And then the land adjudication in Kilifi confirmed that these are the rightful owners of this land, and they put a stamp of it. So I have 3 letters, and on top of that, now I have an agreement signed by lawyer, confirmed by the elders as a witness and the chief. Now I want you to understand this process, so that when someone is selling you land, whether they are selling you as a third party or as the owner of this land, these are the processes that you need to go through. These are the processes you need to ask. Si mtu akwambie, oh, I'm selling this piece of land, or an 860,000, keeping in mind an acre goes for less. Just saying, but it's business. I've said I have no problem with these people. It's business, willing buyer, willing seller. But always ask. Don't always go for the title deed, because most people rush and ask for the title deed. These lands don't have a title deed. It's only in this year that they have started giving out the title deeds, and I'll tell you why these lands they don't have a title deed. When the government allotted these pieces of land to the community and they were given allotment number, a mother title was produced. But if you're an individual who wants to buy land in Malindi, you can always go to this land Ministry of Land in Kilifi County, and then they can always confirm and check if the mother title is genuine. And then but there are some places which have land which have been issued the title deed by the president, and the ones that I know are Labai, Gaze sub-counties. Those ones have already been given. The next one is a few places in Malindi and Marafa. Marafa is where I bought. So the process is still ongoing, and the title deeds are out, what I've been told. But the reason why we have not been handed is because what they do is they do it ceremoniously. Because since it's the government that gave these people the land and they allocated, so they produce the title deed and they do a ceremony where the president hands these title deeds to the people. For the same reason, when yesterday he was speaking and he opened up the country on curfew, is the same reason why they do this thing. Everything is politics, and what you have to do is just wait and chill until your time when umenunua shamba, they get to you, and then they give you these title deeds, right? They give you these title deeds. But if you want to go for these title deeds on your own, you can go, but keep in mind that since the allotment of these lands, it's been about 30 years plus, and what happens is you'll have to pay all the rates from the time you buy to the time the land was first allocated to these people, which is like 30 years ago. For like 30 years, these people have lived without title deeds, and most people, because most people have bought big, like, chunks of land for their own personal use. They just decided, you know what, let's wait on the president, because you don't have to pay much, because it's like mnapewa and it's a ceremony. But if you want to be processed your own title deed, you can get. That is the whole process. Now back to what the Nairobi people did, kwa sababu wamechanuka and they have the knowledge that you people don't have. They went to these people, purchased like 100-200 acres of land, an acre going for kitambo, like 3-4 years ago, it used to go for like 20-30,000 an acre they purchase. Right now it's like between 50 to 500, like I've told you, depending on who is selling. If it's the local who is selling to you, they can sell to you even at 50,000 an acre. If it's the Nairobi people, 500 kama ujui. So that's what they do. They bought these pieces and then they subdivided, and then they have been selling it to people, and especially to people in Nairobi. Now, if you're in Nairobi and you purchase an eighth, I've told you in Nairobi an eighth, most people are used to it being sold at 2 million, but you can get it at 350. It depends. And if you want to know where, just look for me. I'm going to help you and hook you out with the people I have bought land from, who have sold it to me at that price, right? Because I always like to do research. So the same people, they have taken this land, they have subdivided, and then they have sold to you an eighth for, let's say, 50,000, and you think it's a deal, and it is a deal since you're from Nairobi. But let me ask you a question. What are you going to do with an eighth in a very remote place where there is nothing? Are you looking to buy this land so that you can sell? If that's the case, forget about it, because you buy this an eighth for 50,000, an acre goes for 50,000. How long do you think it's gonna take before you can sell this land? The same amount, not even for a profit, to break even. It's gonna be a very long time. If you're buying this land to do farming, an eighth is not gonna help you. It's not gonna help you, because I don't think, like, what kind of farming are you going to do there? It's not going to generate like money for you. You need to buy acres. And if I were you, instead of buying an eighth for 50,000, if I'm doing farming, I'd rather go and look for one that's going for 30,000 and buy 2 acres for 60,000. It's gonna be more helpful to you than anyone else. But if you are just like me, who is into, for me, I do large scale farming. If you are like me, go for big chunk of land. But if you're going for big chunk of land, it's going to be beneficial to you if you go to the locals and buy from them. It's going to be cheaper. But these are the processes. But do your research, find out. I've told you, it does not matter whether the land has title deed or not. What matters is the kind of family or the kind of people who are selling this land to you. Because you don't want to buy land from someone and then tomorrow it's a court case. Buy for people you can trust. And I was willing to connect you people who want to buy to the right people. You can even talk to the chief or talk to the elders. I will connect you to the right channels so that you make sure you're buying land from the right people, because I've gone through this process, so I know I can vouch for them. I can vouch for this family. We have done business for 3 years and they're okay, they are good. That's all I had to say about this Malindi land. So before you go to purchase, always know that, or ask yourself, am I getting the best deal? When I first went there, there was no road. The road that was there was Mara, and then from the main road, which was Mara, going inside, there was nothing. It used to take, actually the first time it took me 4 hours to get from Malindi airport to where now we branch. For those people who understand that area, Marafa, you just branch as you're going through Hell's Kitchen. If you know Hell's Kitchen, where it is, it used to take 4 hours from airstrip Malindi airport to Hell's Kitchen. 4 hours. Na sasa shamba iko ndani, so you have to travel another 2 hours kuingia, like 6 hours. It used to be hectic. Now they have done a tarmac road, until that point, and then they're doing another one that goes inside. From the airport, it takes me 30 to 40 minutes now to get to Hell's Kitchen, from 4 hours to around 35. It's progress. And then where the governor stays, they are doing a road that's gonna go straight until now where the farm is, where those people are. So in total, you'll be taking around 1 hour, 1 hour 30 from the airport to get to the farm. Good development, and you can see why this land is appreciating, and you can see why the people are rushing there right now. They are buying in haste. Most people are buying in haste so that they can come and sell it to you at a very expensive, and that's what people have started doing. They are buying it and then now telling you, oh, this place is gonna happen, this is gonna happen like this. But the reason I'm giving you this story about the road is to show you how remote that place is. Yes, it shows potential, and I know myself it shows potential, and I've been telling my friends to go there and purchase there. But if you're going to buy an eighth, it's a waste of time, and I've told you why. It's not gonna help you. Guys, there are buying where I am. Oh, there's something I forgot to tell you about. You see, before you can get your title deeds, this right now they do 1,000 blocks, 1,000-acre block, and then they sell to people. Once this 1,000-acre block has been sold out, they start processing your title deed. The area I am in, most influential guys, including politicians, have bought chunks of land, 3,600, 500. I do not know why they did that. And even when I was taken there, I was taken by a friend of mine who is a magistrate of the Supreme Court, and they have done massive. She has like 600 acres there, and I did my own purchase. And because I could trust where politicians are buying and where big guys are buying, I could as well purchase. And in a block of 1,000 acres, we are like 5 people, some 5 or 4, I can't remember. Some the highest guy has like 600 acres, and then 300 and like that. So what they do is they cut blocks of 1,000 and then they split, and then the title did come out. And up to date, what was I gonna say? So these influential people decided, you know what, since these guys are coming from Nairobi and they're coming here and they're cutting land, they're taking like 100 acres, and then they're cutting, or maybe they're taking 20 acres and they're cutting into pieces of 8. They are going to bring people here, and this place is going to be like a slum. And people with money don't like to be disturbed. So what they did is they pulled the strings, they made the calls, whatever they were doing, and an area where we are was segregated, and you can never purchase land there less than 50 acres. That's what they did to protect themselves and the and the other people there, because hawataki, like, what are you going to do with an eighth? Unless you're going to put a kanyumba there, or I don't know what, but they didn't want that. So a very big area has been segregated, and you cannot purchase land there if you're buying anything less than 50 acres. So what I did, and I told my friends who wanted who couldn't take like the 50 acres, and this is the advice I gave them. I told them, mshikane, find a group of people, like 10 of you, mshikane, buy 50 acres. 50 is like 300,000. 5 acres, 300,000. You buy 50 acres. When the title deed is out, so you mnajuana your friends, and then you can do the subdivision, or you can do whatever you want to do with that land yourself. That will allow you to earn a place there. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I find people on my, and I've said this on the previous video, because I find people on my DM asking me, can I buy an acre? Can I buy an eighth? How easy? This place you cannot. What you can do is maybe 5 acres, And if you're asking me to connect you to these people, what I can do is, if you can afford 5, another person 10, what I'm going to do is I'm going to link you up. Just a 50 or 25, and then you make your own arrangement, and then you go purchase the land. Or when you're getting your own contract, you know you are purchasing together 50 acre, but each person owns like 5 or this 10, and then you can do your own arrangement to now split the title that's gonna come out, and each person gets their own piece. So what you can do is you can find a common lawyer or a common person to hold on to this title deed until it's subdivided and each person gets an individual. That's the only reason you can hack this. Other than that, or you can buy an eighth or an acre outside. Now uko kwenye, but it's far. You can even get uko mbali, like further than where we are. You can even get for 25,000 an acre. But I do not know how you're gonna get helped when it comes to the title deed. That one is gonna be on your own, because I cannot vouch for those people because I don't know them. The people I know are in this area that I was saying, and that's why I decided to do this video, so that I can tell you this, so that because some people have come and asked me, can I buy a 2 acre? Personally, I do not sell land, and this is just to link you up. And I'm sure even if I linked you up, they cannot send you because of that regulation. No, it's not a regulation, but it's like waliambiwa they not to sell, and they have to listen to the big people. So for that reason, if you ask me 2 or 3 acres, I cannot link you to just purchase that, because at how to zero. So that being said, I think I have finished up with this, everything I had to say. It's been 37 minutes. I'm gonna give like 5 minutes of questions. If you have any question, then I can answer it. So I'm just gonna answer question, but don't ask me where Joy is. If you have been in this live, you know the topic we are talking about. Keep it relevant to the discussion. That's it. I think I've covered everything that I ought to have covered. Now it's up to you. When you go to purchase land, you know what to look for, what to ask for. I'm not saying how to part a land. If you want a need, you can get a need, but you have the knowledge. Do with it as you wish. Since I'm on this live and I'm going to save it, if there are no questions, I'll not waste time. I'll just log out, because I don't want to make this live to be too long. I think I see people here on Instagram, they have been waving. All right, they have no questions as well. So if you feel like you need a link up, just now DM me, and I'm going to link you up with these people. So keep in mind, 50, 25, you can come as a group, you can come as an individual, but then you have to wait until another person comes who want maybe kidogo, and then unaweza shikana, and then, but it's gonna be, in the end, it's gonna be cheaper compared to what guys are selling to you out there. So that's okay, no questions. I'm just gonna log out. Thank you for joining the live. I hope that was informative. Cheers, and continue being awesome.